guys, Kelly here, and today I wanted to share with you a video about 5 authors that I think I will love. So these are authors I have not read anything that they have written before, but I really think that I will love them. So I have been like buying their books. Some of these I have several of their books and just have not read them yet. And I don't know if you guys ever do this, but I have this thing where if I think I'm gonna really love a book, sometimes I put it off. Because especially if I haven't read something else by that author, I have this like expectation in my mind of how good it's going to be, and then if I read it and find out it's not meeting my expectation, then I'll be really disappointed. So maybe if I'm making this video, it'll like push me to actually read things by these authors. So let me know if any of these are ones that are favorites of yours and if I should jump to get on it. So I'm going to start with the 2 authors that I only own 1 book from each of these authors. And the first one is Wilkie Collins. And Wilkie Collins was writing back in the 1860s. And so he's a classic author. And the reason I think I would really love his work is because he's kind of seen as the originator to like detective fiction and kind of like the first one to combine like gothic horror and psychological thriller together. So one of the books that I want to read that I don't own yet is The Moonstone, which is called The First True Detective Novel. And then the one I do own is The Woman in White, which is the one that he kind of is credited as combining gothic horror but then adding in like psychological realism into it. And I just think that's really fascinating to see kind of what the like start of some of our current psychological thriller or horror novels came from. And so I'm really interested in reading his. I've heard that this one is excellent, so I actually have read the first chapter and I tried a chapter tag and enjoyed it and wanted to just be able to sit down and really enjoy it because it is a long book. So I would hope to get to this one soon. And then the next one I only own 1 book of is Erik Larson, and he's known for writing nonfiction. This one is The Devil in the White City, Murder, Magic, and Madness at the Fair That Changed America. I've owned this book forever, like probably since about the time that it came out, which, when was that? 2003. So yeah, I have probably owned it for over 10 years, probably 15 years. And I just have not gotten around to it because sometimes I just don't get around to reading nonfiction. But I have this on my TBR for June, and I actually am buddy reading it with a friend of mine, so it's finally going to happen. And the thing is, I've been wanting to read all of Erik Larson's books. Like, he writes other ones that I'm really interested in, and I've almost bought them in the past, but I'm like, no, I've owned this book for 15 years and haven't read it. I need to read this one before I buy any of his others. So this is going to happen next month, and then I would love to move on to some of his other nonfiction. And the next one is a middle grade author who I own 2 of her books, and there's one other book that I really want to read, and that is Mary Haskell. And I own 2 of hers. I own The Princess Curse and The Castle Behind Thorns. These are obviously fantasy books. I've just heard amazing things about both of these. She also has a book called The Handbook for Dragon Slayers, which I also think sounds really great. I love middle grade fantasy, and so I'm not sure why I haven't jumped on reading these yet. So this needs to happen soon because I just think I'm gonna love her. I feel like she's gonna be very similar to like Gail Carson Levine or like Shannon Hale or something like that, and I'm gonna love them. The next author is the one that I own the most of his books out of this pile. I actually own 4 books by him, and that is Neal Shusterman. He's very popular right now on BookTube, so I've been like picking up the books that sound really interesting to me, and so I just need to get around to actually reading them. This is the one that I'm like, I'm afraid I'm not gonna love him, and then I will have bought like a ton of these books for no reason. But a lot of them I got cheaper, like at a library sale stuff, so I just need to do it. So I own Scythe. I only like to buy books really in paperback, so I won't get Thunderhead until it comes out in paperback, or at least until I read this, so I know if I like him. And then I own 2 books in the Skinjacker trilogy, so I have Everlost and Everwild. I don't usually buy sequels unless I know, but I got this one for like 20 cents at a library sale, so it worked out. And I also own Challenger Deep, but I have it in storage right now. So I would really like to read one of those soon so I can see if I should be continuing to buy his books or if I need to stop. And then the last one is one that like I'm kind of mad at myself that I have not read her books yet because I think that I will adore them, and people tell me all the time how good they are, and I just need to do it. and that is Anna Marie McLemore. So she is really popular right now as well, and she writes like magical realism kind of stories that usually have some romance in it and just fantastical things happening, but also rooted in a lot of the real world. So I have 3 of her books. I have When the Moon Was Ours, The Weight of Feathers, and then I just bought, even though I have these 2 I haven't read yet, I just bought Wild Beauty. So now I own 3 of her books, and probably the only reason I don't own Blanca and Roja is because it's still in hardback, because for some reason I just can't stop buying her books, but I need to read them. I don't know, if you have read a lot of her books, tell me which one of these I should start with, because I had bought Weight of Feathers first, but some people say this is their least favorite of hers, so tell me what you think, which one of these I should start with, so I can really give her the best chance possible. So those are the 5 authors that I really just need to pick up their books because I keep buying them and keep wanting to read them, and I just don't do it. Do you guys ever have this where you think you're gonna love an author, you buy their books, and then you just let them sit on your shelves, or am I the only one that does that? If any of these are ones you really want me to get to, let me know so I can try to make it a more top priority, because now I'm just feeling like angry with myself that I haven't just read these books and found out if I love them. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.